Hello everyone, hopefully everyone can hear me, see me, and all the rest of it. Let's just make sure our levels are okay, and they appear to be okay to me, so hopefully everyone can hear me and see me okay. How are we doing? Hello everyone in Twitch and in YouTube. Who we got in the chat? We've got Julian Andre on Twitch, hello. Got Gary, got Yoza, Kim, hello again, Rory, Kian, and Abduli. Hello everyone, how are we all? Hopefully everyone's doing okay. Welcome again to, this is the second weekly question time, and this question time sessions are a chance for you guys to ask me live what kind of things you want to know about in, or anything really, games, UE4, anything. I don't mind. I'll happily answer pretty much anything as best I can. So if this is your first time over in chat, just put in your question that you want to try and answer, and if I don't see it, just keep throwing it back in, and I will eventually catch it. So hopefully everything goes quite smooth there. Yeah, okay, that's all working okay. If you didn't check it out, last time we done this, we made like a hurricane thing. That's cool. But I'll be releasing the VOD of that, the archive of that, later after this live stream for everyone to watch. And I think I'll do that as a rolling thing, so you can watch last week's this week all the time. Okay. Obviously, patrons get it before everyone else, as I do with all the rest of the videos. Patrons have got, I think we calculated about over 40 videos currently at the moment. There are more. I just got to fill out details and edit stuff on them, but I think in total, all the ones, if I include all those ones, you're looking at about 60 videos for patrons. So loads of cool stuff coming for them. And obviously YouTube, you're getting continuing public releases of that content. Today I released 2 videos about lighting stuff. Hopefully you found that useful. And later in the week we got more of the crafting series coming. So I can see some questions starting to come through now. So hello Zimmy Jim. So Zimmy Jim is asking, using the behavior tree task with EQS, you need a monster to chase your NPCs when it sees them, but when it is using get actor of class, they always chase the same NPC, so the NPC that sets their variable. Okay. I need monsters to chase my NPCs when it sees them, but when using get actor of class, they always chase the same NPC, so the NPC that set the variable. Okay, so when you do get actor of class, it gets you an array. The array is a list of all the actors. Obviously, without seeing your code, it's hard to make sense of what you're trying to do here, or what you have done previously. So when you've got the array, if you want it to, I don't know why you're getting him to chase. Are you trying to make him so it chases all the NPCs? Because ideally, the way you do it is when they detect the, when the monster sees them. Yeah, when the monster sees them, you want to store which NPC it saw, and which you get from my perception. Now the problem with my perception is get all actors of class will return all actors that are seen and unseen. So you need to do a check to see which one was successfully sensed. That's the tricky bit with that. So I think that's your issues. I think that's the issue you may have. So it's important to remember that successfully sensed data is going to send back everything that has got a perception on it, whether it's been seen or not seen. It returns both. You just need to do a check to see if it was seen or not. Yeah. Oh, are we? Yoza, how would you go about making a battle pass? There are no tutorials on this anywhere. Thanks, Ryan, dude. Big question, I know, but even if you just explain it a little. So a battle pass is just a number that goes up. It's just like leveling up. So when you level up, it goes up a level battle pass, and when you get to that level, you take it to unlock something. That's all you're really doing. So, for example, you may have a battle class actor. Okay. And in here, you would probably have different events for each of the levels that you unlock, and it's tracking. And it'd be like have a leveling system, so it keeps track of what level it currently is at, and yeah, and output that. The rewards comes down to UI stuff, and it comes with a bit of planning. You want to make sure you know what kind of stuff you're rewarding. It's quite a lengthy thing to go into. So I'll have a battle pass actor, and I will also have a struct. So I'll go into make a structure, battle rank, struct, and this battle rank struct would have a int, so that'd be the level. And this will be what should we say? We'll say oh, I don't know. If you're doing something like okay, so you'd have one that is like skin, for example. Another one which would be cash. By the way, for yawning, I'm gonna be yawning quite a lot. I'm very sleep deprived. So skin, cash, and I don't know, emblem, for example. And these would relate to, these would be ID numbers that relate to, or they could be asset references, either way. So that skin could be material or mesh rather. There'd be a skeletal mesh you associate that to. So let's do skeletal mesh. And that'd be a class reference. Cash would be an integer, and emblem would be, I don't know, a texture maybe, for example. So each reward will have this. Nope. And on the variables here, we'll do rewards, and the type for that would be battle rank struct, and that'd be a we'll do a map. No, sorry. That would be integer and battle rank. Got. So when you go new one here, you can add. Is that right? Oh, I need to. Oh, again, that's fine. So yeah, so we go in here. You go battle rank 1, and you can then put in the details. You don't need level, I guess, because that'll be part of this. So the integer on the rank on the map here would be the rank, and you just do level 2, and so on and so forth. And when you level up, you just compare what level you currently are to this map, and you get whatever one it is. Now, when I'm entering the data for this, I'll be checking skin. If it is equal to none, then I go to check cash. If cash is equal to none, then I'll check emblem. Okay, and if none of them are true, there's no reward. And once it finds one, it escapes back out. So let's just do a quick example of this. So you have a variable one here called battle rank, and that'd be just an integer. Okay, and this when you level up, it'll do a custom event called level up battle rank. Oh, can't spell it, but never mind. You get the gist. So when you level up battle rank, you get the rewards, find, and you find the battle rank that you are. Okay, and you probably would increment this first. Increment battle rank, get rewards, and this output the rewards. Okay, so skin, I'm gonna go is valid, and put that to a branch. So if skin is valid, we're going to this would be like a calling a function saying unlock skin, for example. I'll go there. Oh, by the way, cash, you'll check if that is less than or equal to 0. And if that is also true, it goes into a branch. And if that is, greater than 0, sorry. If it is greater than 0, I'll do a print string here. Reward cache. And then finally, emblem, we go, is valid again. Okay. And if that is true, you do a custom event to unlock an emblem. Okay. And once you do that, then you tell it to save the game, and that's basically it. I would imagine. I haven't done one before, but that's what I imagine it would do. Hopefully that answers your question, gives you some ideas. Sorry, I see loads of questions come up. As I say, if I do miss your question, just put it back in chat. I will hopefully catch it. As I said, this is weekly now, so if I don't get your answer, you can always try again next week. So anyway, let's crack on. Next person. Innocent Baraka, sorry, but your voice made me think you're in your teens. I am most definitely not in my teens. I am 30. How old am I? 32, turning 33 this year. Darkest Light, hello. How to place an object on the ground only if it's not too steep, I imagine that's meant to say. For example, 20 degrees. If it's not too steep. Okay. If you want, you can do a line trace, and then you get the normal off that, and you measure the angle of the trace to the normal. The normal is like the perpendicular value that comes out of it. So imagine you got a slope like this. You line trace down on the object like so, and it'll hit the surface. Now the normal comes at a perpendicular angle, which is 90 degrees out of the surface here. So if you measure the angle between this and that, and if it's over a certain, if it's too much, that means it's too steep. Yeah, be greater value. If it's more flatter, more closer to the perpendicular, then you can place it. And that's how you do that. Jimmy Jim, can you switch back to the spa music? I don't. Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening. It could. I don't know. It's from random. Bigger Meta, will you ever do C++ tutorials? In the end, yes. Not in the end. Eventually, yes. I'm just inundated with requests for various Blueprint things. So Blueprint is number one, always priority in my books. But we will eventually get to C++ stuff. Maybe next year. But at the moment, we're quite full at the moment with what we've got planned. What Innocent Baraka? What are set variable and how do you use? I'm not too sure what you mean there, Innocent Baraka. So all variables. So for example, on the player character here. So you got this value here. So you got get or you got set. And essentially, if you want to know what the value is, it's a get. So if you're reading it, get. If you want to change the value, it's setting it. So when you get a value, you're temporarily getting it out of memory, and then you're doing stuff with it. And then when you've done stuff with it, you want to set it back to its value. Typically, that's what you're doing. But yeah, essentially that's all that is. I don't know what else I can explain with that. It's not too much to go on with there. League One, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Have you ever considered getting a job in the game industry? Yeah, of course. Soon after I finished university, I applied for various jobs. That was about 2009 or 2008, 2009. So it was just after the recession crash thing. And I had some interviews at some places. Probably the biggest studio I had an interview with was Rare, but it didn't happen, and I got into teaching, and I've been teaching ever since. Now, if I want to get into the industry, thing is, I've progressed so far into teaching. To go into industry would be a massive risk, and if I was on my own, I'd probably more likely to take it. But I have to think about my wife and 2 children first and foremost. Make sure I give them security, stability. The games industry is very tumultuous, and I'm quite happy teaching. I'm happy doing this and make my own games. I'm totally fine with that. But never say never. Always open to it, I guess. Joshua Reyes, I have a large boss in my game, but my player character can push him around. How can I prevent that? You may want to try going into your physics. Not physics. It can push him around. Shouldn't be able to do that. If it's a physical thing, like a physics-based thing, you can change the mass, make them really heavy. You don't know about pushing him out of the way. I don't know if I can really test it either. Let's have a look. If I drag this character out, I can't even push. I haven't tested this before. Yeah, I can't push this character. He's a lot smaller, so I don't know how you set up your player character. If they are a character, then they shouldn't be moving. Yeah, so he's not moving. I'm pushing him quite hard. Yeah, so don't know. Oh, set like a raise maps and set. Oh, sorry. Oh, right, I was back on there. So if we, for example, if I, so you got map and you got set here. Let's do nothing. Just make a new one. There you go. Ooh. Oh, so a set is it's sort of like an array, okay? So, for example, and you can do a load of set values. So, an example of a set is, if, for example, you wanted to do player health as a fixed thing. So when they level up, each health has got a different thing. So you have an index, which is here. It's basically like a lesser map. So you always have an index integer. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And then the value is going to be any value you want. But that value will be... So for example, in health, it could be a health value. So here on level 0, I have 10 health, for example. And then when on level 1, I have 25. Level 2, it could be 50, etc, etc. And then you are finding... not finding, but what do I call it in here? I can't remember what they call it in sets. Hang on. Contains item. No, not contains item. I'm blind. What is it? It is. You'll be able to get a value from it. Oh wait, no, it's not what a set is. When would you use a set? When would you use a set? I'm trying to think of a good example when you might use a set. a set is a set of data that it is sort of like not sort of write only. You can't do you manipulate it and do stuff with it. I don't know when you would use it. I've never had to use it before in Unreal anyway. I'm trying to think of a way you'd do it with game. Would be a good way to use a set. Maybe like scoring. Imagine like if you're doing like time like level times maybe, or lap times. Do sets with that. Because you can manipulate the data inside of it. Sorry. Abdudi, in your building system tutorials, will you go over how to save and load builds? If not, how do you do it? I probably won't cover it in that one. I'm going to be doing another saving and loading video about saving large amount of data. But essentially, you get all the actors and you save their location, their vectors. Essentially, that's what you're doing. Kim North, can you explain normals and vertices? Sure. Hang on. So here's a cube. Okay. Can we see vertices in it? So vertices are the thing that are drawn by the computer. They are the points. Now, they're typically the corners of an object, so that's why you see ones on the edge of the corners of the cube here. But you also see them on the insides as well. Now, the reason why you see that is because game engines work with triangles rather than quads. So all quads are divided into triangles. So what you're seeing there are the intersections of the various triangles. So if I go to wireframe, it's a bit hard to see, but you can, if you look closer, you can see the wireframe of the cube, and where it intersects, you get the vertices. Okay. So when it's drawing, it draws the vertices out and fills in the gaps basically with a shader or material in Unreal. Normals, if I turn on normals here, are, if I turn vertices, there you go. So normals come out from the vertices at, by default, like perpendicular lines. You can manipulate the normals in a 3D modeling software. But normals are used by the lighting system to determine how lighting is affected by the shape. That's why you use high poly normals to do baking for high poly sculpts, without getting into too much of the nitty gritty of it. But essentially it's the way it calculates lighting. So if it's more perpendicular it is, the more harsh the edge is going to be. But if I wanted this edge here to look like it's just one curved surface, I'll average those normals out in the 3D modeling software, and it'll make the edge nice and smooth. That's how you make smooth objects with very low polys. Julian Andre, thank you. I do look very tired. I need to sleep more and more. It's been a very busy week. Innocent Baraka, I really loved maps. In fact, I prefer maps to array. So I was wondering if set is also cooler. I don't really use set, as I said, but the main difference with a map and array is an array can have, you can't, for example, in a map you can't have duplicate keys. Keys have to be unique. The values can be duplicate, but the keys must be unique. And the main difference in memory management as well, if you want to get really technical about it, is an array in memory is sort of stored in all different locations on the let's say for example the hard drive. Okay, so it's stored in a lot of different locations, and the array stores addresses for that information and it fetches it. So it's quite slow in relatively to maps, and a map is a set block of data, so it's really quick and easy to read it. So if you want to get really fancy with it, that's why you want to use maps sometimes, and then sometimes arrays. Correct, Kim. Yeah. Maps are unordered. So, like, what it means by unordered and ordered is that an array, index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, give you set values. I think that's so they are stored sequentially like that, in like a address format. Maps don't have to worry about that because they're stored with keys, and the keys are tied to that, and so it doesn't have to be sequential. It's quite nice. Tyler, hey Ryan, I was wondering if you're doing a part 2 to the AI jumping up and down ledges video. I know I meant to get back to that. I keep meaning to go back to that. Yes, that it will be coming. I can't say for certain when. Just because I'm so busy at the moment making videos and real life work stuff. So I promise it will be coming. And hopefully sooner rather than later. Is that Quigu? Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Hello, is there a way to check if I have done a certain amount of damage to an enemy within a period of time? The only thing I can find online is set event on timer, which is not what I want. Interesting problem. Okay. So if I want to get damage over time... the only way I can think about this is you have a begin play event. Oh, which I've already got here. So on the begin play event, I would imagine you'd set a timer by event, and the event would be custom clear damage buffer, and let's change this to float here, damage buffer, which stores the amount of damage that's being built. So on here it just sets it back to nothing, and then when you get damage, receive damage, what's it called? Oh, event any damage, there you go. We just add that to the damage buffer, set it to the damage buffer. So, and this will happen, let's say every 10 seconds on a loop. So every 10 seconds it's going to clear the buffer, and this damage will just keep building it up and then clear it. That's the only thing I can think of. There must be a way of making a buffer. That's what you want, is a buffer. I don't know if you can make your own custom buffers in Blueprints. Don't think you can. No. It'd probably involve a bit of C++ to create your own buffer. A buffer is like a how to describe this? It's a looping thing. Oh no, I'll tell you what would be a better way of doing it. What if you want to fake a buffer? Okay. So damage buffer here we'll make as an array. And on damage buffer, what we're going to, when we receive damage, you get the buffer, which is an array, and then you set an array element. I think the index size can be stored somewhere, so this will be buffer position, and that'll be an integer. And then we just increment buffer position. So we're faking a buffer basically. And it damages that. So you make an array and it will then set an array element to the damage that you've received from the event any damage. Then you increase the buffer position. If the buffer position is greater than the size of your buffer, so if your buffer is, you only want to store the latest 30 values or whatever, if it goes greater than 30, then you want to set the buffer back to 0. The buffer position back to 0. That'd be how you would do it if you were doing it by an amount of things. And you could probably manipulate somehow to get time based and that, but combined. But essentially, that's it. Julian Andrea on Twitch is asking, how would you go about clicking a button on a 3D widget, a widget component within an actor in 3D space while in game mode? I've asked Steve Boulder in the past. He said he would go about it with a VR ray trace component, which without actually having a VR. You want to click on a 3D widget with what? The mouse, I assume. Because if you're playing the game, like for example, this, you don't have. You need a mouse to do that. Yeah. So I'm going to show you. Okay. So let's make an actor with a 3D widget. Make the widget first of all. 3D widget. I'll do a very simple one. We'll do a button, and the button is gonna just be clickable. When this button's clicked, it'll print string hello. Okay. Then we'll make an actor. And in there, we'll put a widget in. In fact, we've done this before. We've done it before with the widget interactor. This one. You need that on the player character. So Julian, if you go to my keypad door video, I explain the widget interaction, and that'd be how you do it without using a mouse. If you're using a mouse, you could do it with this method and just simply make it so you can click on it. But from your description, it sounds like you want to go and use widget interaction. So on your player character, you have a widget interaction, which acts like basically a line trace out for widgets. I explain it all in the keypad door, so go watch the keypad door video. Okay, I'll stop making that because that's games and life. Nice videos. Thank you. My question is, how can you transfer data from level to level, like carrying over inventory items, saving and loading? That's how you do it. Or you put all that data on the game instance and that's it. But it's saving and loading. That's why in games checkpoints typically are at the start of levels, because that's when it's last saved. Die Hard Games. Can you show me how to do temperature system, body temp, world temp, and to connect to my day-night cycle? Oh boy. Not quickly. But let's see what we can do. Okay, so let's do this. Okay. So we're going to make a widget for our temperature. Temp UI. And we'll add a progress bar. Like so. And we can do something really quite cool with this. So for example, we'll do a custom event in here called update temp, and update temp is going to get the progress bar, set percent, and then we're going to do set color. Now the reason why we can what do I do? Construct. Actually, no. If I go in here and go player character, so I'm going to set the player character here, and that'll be called the first person player character type. Made it editable and expose on spawn. Compile. On the player character, we're going to have a variable in here called temperature, and that's going to go between 0 and 1. That's a float. On begin play, we can use the temp UI, and it asks for the player character here. So now, because we made it exposed on spawn, sorry, I'm explaining this quick because I want to try and answer as many questions as I can. So we create a temperature UI, send over the player character to that temperature UI. So now on temperature UI, we can access the player character and get their temperature value. And that go in there. Then we're going to use this to not normalize to range. Lerp, sorry. Lerp. Yeah. So lerp linear color. So when temperature is 0, we'll make it cold. When it's hot, we'll make it hot. Ooh. There you go. So that'll do that. Compile. Save. So now that will update the temperature value on it as well as the color. So player character. So for example, because it is a value on here, and that's all temperature is just a value. So let's start this out at 0.5. So you start off quite simple, like quite plainly. Hit play. So this is my temperature at the bottom there. Okay. We'll also tell it to update UI here. Update temp. There you go. Okay, there you go. So there's your update temperature. So all you do is then put in whatever this value you want it to increase. For example, let's say you do shade. Okay. So on a tick event, what's this? Some old stuff here. So I'm gonna get rid of this. So on a tick event, let's do a line trace up. Let's see if we've got anything above our head. Line trace by channel. Oh, hello. Oh no, I'll tell you what we'll do. Do tick event. We'll do it by height of the world. So for example, we'll get actor location, and we'll split that, get the Z value, and do normalize to range. And normalize to range takes a value, and if you put in a minimum and maximum, it will then output a normalized value between 0 and 1. So if I say minimum of minus 200 and a range max of 1000, when they get a normalized value, I can clamp that between 0 and 1. We then tell the temperature to be equal to that. and then we tell our widget, which is over here, we just promote that to a variable. Bit messy, but that's how I'm rushing. So on the tick here, we then take our widget and take it to update temp. Hit compile. So now, if I was to put in, let's put in some stairs. Stairs. And put in some load of stairs there. So now, as I go up and down these stairs, that temperature bar should update. I'm getting higher and colder, and it should go lower when I get warmer. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. You could do then a line trace from the head up to find out if you're in shelter. If you're near an object, line trace increases. Let's do a little campfire here. So, fire, for example. We'll do a particle system and a sphere collision. Fire. And the sphere collision will increase the radius somewhat. Okay. So on begin overlap, we'll check. We'll cast to cast to first person character. Get the temp. No, sorry. We want to. We get a distance, don't we? That'd be on a tick. Okay, on the tick. Right, on a tick, we'll do is overlapping get player character. Okay, so on the tick, if that is overlapping the player character, I'm then going to take the player character from here and cast to the first person character. Do true. And actually, tell you what would be actually more efficient for this. We can play get player character, cast to first person character, promote that to a variable. The reason why you want to do it here, not a tick, is because casting is quite expensive. So you don't want to do it on a tick ideally. So get new var 0 out, which is what the player character is. And then from there we can set temp. Yeah, set temp to whatever you want. So actually let's get temp first. Get temp, and get temperature is going to mine's going blank. F interp 2. And target is going to be 1, for example. Delta time, delta world seconds. And interp speed we'll do set to 5. And then we're going to set temperature on the player character like so. So now, if I was to put this fire in the world and I walk near it, it should, in theory, my gun's gone. Where's my gun gone? What's going to? Let me just print string this. Should be fine. Yeah, that's working fine. Just not this bit. Part temperature, if and tap. Oh wait, you got to tell it to. Did I disconnect the update on here? I should still be updating temp. Oh, it's because this is attached to it and that's overwriting it, sorry. Right, now we can test it. There you go. So I'll get warmer, colder, whatnot. And yeah, we're running out of time, so I don't want to spend too long on it. But yeah, using that sort of system, as long as you change the temperature value on it and tell it to update the UI, that's all there is to it. Anyway, let's have a look at chat. We've got about 10 minutes left before the end of the session, so get your questions in. Again, we're doing it every Wednesday, so you can always yeah. Join us next Wednesday. Where am I looking? Baggy, can the player character movement be configured for the character to move like in the game Valorant? When you jump, you can instantly stop and move to another direction while jumping. Yep. So that's quite easy to do. So if you want to make it, give yourself more control in the air, go to character movement component, and if you go down to jumping, I think it's in. Yeah, jumping. You see air control. So if you do it set to 1, you have perfect control in the middle of the air. So I can. Oh. I should be able to. Hang on, let me get some more air time. Okay. So you can move. Hard to see without reference points because it's just all grey. But let me turn down gravity because then it'd be a bit easier to see. Oh, I forgot where gravity is. There it is. Okay, so now a bit more floaty, but I can choose which direction I want to go, and I can instantly stop. If you want to make it so you stop in midair when you let go of the key. I haven't played Valorant, so I don't know what the character movement like. But it's all in this jumping thing. So you've got air control, air boost. You want to do. You have to tweak these numbers a bit. I don't know whereabouts you'd change it. If you turn air control up even further, what does that do? Beyond 1. Oh god. Oh. You could probably also do something like when you let go of the key, like no keys being pushed. So I can't know if there's no key. Any key? No. Don't know. I'd have to have a look at that. Also, I haven't played Valorant, so I'm not entirely sure of how their movement works. But air control gives you more control mid-air, so you can do stuff like that. Hyperred, can I put a free game on Steam? I'm 13. I think you have to be a certain age to upload it because it requires you to pay $100, and you have to click, tick, and sign stuff to say that you are, I guess, of age and things like that. So unfortunately, not if you're 13. But parents can publish it for you. But it won't be free. You'd have to pay $100 for it, even if it's a free game to download. Alternatively, you can use something like Itch. Yeah, air friction. Yeah, I think there is air friction VNet somewhere, but maybe to drag it out. No friction. Got ground friction. Falling lateral friction. So it must be except lateral friction. Lateral that. Oh there. It might have to be a high note. I can't remember if it's normalised or not. That looks right. Yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't think it's normalised, but it seems to do the trick. Yeah, there you go. Stopped dead air. Something to play around with. Mortar, do you know how to save and load the object that you're holding from your inspection system? Go watch my saving and loading videos. It's the same as that. The only thing you're doing is you're changing what value you're saving, and that you're saving a reference to a class. So save that reference over to your save game object and save it. But watch my saving and loading videos. They'll help you out for that. Chris Hill, although I'm an architect and don't use Unreal at all, I enjoy watching your blueprint uploads. Oh, thank you, man. You can use Unreal for architecture. It's really quite cool. Daniel Aguilar, about the cover system video you made for AI, can that be reworked for a player character? Yeah, so if you want a player character to snap into cover, one thing you can do is do 2 line traces, one from the head, one from sort of the crotch area. And then if the head one hits nothing, but the crotch one does, that means that you want to then animate the player to get into cover and duck and get underneath it. If their head hits it and the crotch hits it, when I push the cover button, they'll go up against the wall like Metal Gear Solid style. So yeah, do two line traces. Boom, boom. Let me scroll up, see if I can get any more in before we finish up tonight. Gary Parkin, I created a machine. What's the easiest way to start and stop animation that goes with it? I know how to use overlap event to start the animation, but I don't see a stop animation node. Yeah, it should be. Stop animation, stop montage, stop slot animation, stop animation here. For user interface, stop animation, stop. There's loads here. If you ever can't find the node you're looking for, here's my tip: turn off context sensitive. Have a look what you need. So I want to stop animation, for example. So let's see. So it's animation, stop anim. Click on that, and then it'll tell me I need an anim single node instance. So this requires an anim instance. So I need to be able to get a reference to that. But there are other ways to stop animation. So you've got, oh, hello. So if we do stop anim montage, for example, or stop animation component, you need a skeletal mesh component. You just drag that into there, and it'll stop whatever animation it's playing. Yeah, that's basically it. So if in doubt, turn on context sensitive, type in what you need, and have a look at what you require to complete the node. HypeRed, can I put the web browser widget in a game without copyrights? What web browser widget? Kim North. I'll answer Kim North's question. Oh, did I pull the mic out? Hopefully not. Okay. Yes. Montage is changed in 4.25. So I'm going to show you what they changed. Okay, let's just do one here. Right, let's do new animation montage using Swamp. Okay, so the differences are that all the stuff that was in the center is now more over to the right. So you have montage sections over here. So in my asset browser, I would have, for example, let's go stand to prone, then prone, do prone fire, for example, and then we'll do prone to stand. Okay, so by default, when you play it, just plays it sequentially. It fires once and gets back up. So let's say you want to loop the prone once you get from stand to prone. Go to montage sections, and we have to put in the sections first of all. So rather than it's in the center, it's over here on the right hand side. So let's put the sections in. So I'm going to go here, new montage section, firing, and then I'm going to go here and new montage section, end. Okay, so now I want to loop from default and loop firing. So I'm going to go over to my montage sections tab. If you don't see it, go to window and you'll find the option for montage sections, and in here you'll see default, firing, and end. If you, I think, clear, when you clear it, you can go default, then you tick on the pick next section on this little white square here, choose firing, and then firing, you pick firing again and it loops it. So now my starting section will go down, it will just shoot continuously until I tell it to get up. So it's just over here, that's all it is doing. Okay, so down, firing, up. So you click on these little squares here at the end to choose which section is going to play next. And if you pick the same section, it will loop it. Hopefully that helps you out, Kim. Chakama, hi Ryan, I'm your second biggest fan. Why are you not my first? What up, man? The web browser is a plugin from Epic Games. Oh, I haven't tried it yet. I don't know. I haven't used it before. But chances are the copyrights are in there for a reason. So chances are you can't remove it. Merlin Wizard, hello. What would be the best place to link you my Maze Game project when I'm finished? And how many have already sent you a Maze Game project? I've had a few, but the best place to send me one is to this email address I'm going to put in chat. support@ryanlaley.com. So if you email me any of your projects or video clips of your stuff, want to show me, I'll be interested to see what you guys have done. I'm always fascinated to see what guys have been doing. So good stuff. So that kind of brings us to the end of tonight's show. Thank you for everyone who joined tonight's show and asked the questions. Apologies if your question did not get answered, but come along next Wednesday and hopefully we'll see you then. Coming this week, as I said, we've got crafting episodes coming out on Friday, and the live stream this Saturday is a case study, and we'll be playing Fall Guys. So join us as we play Fall Guys, analyse things, talk about how it's made, maybe, and try and recreate stuff in the following week. Thanks very much for joining me tonight. Hopefully you guys appreciated it and learned something from it. And if you haven't, try again next week. Thanks everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.